All right, gang. What is up? Back with another episode of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VFBaller, and today we're just going to have a simple discussion. We're going to talk about some of these teams, what they are doing good, what they're not doing. We're going to look at some of the scores of the NFL teams, some of the college games, particularly my Georgia Southern Eagles, because you know I'm biased. And we're just going to get right into it. First and foremost, man, I thank everybody who has been, coming through, supporting the channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. And it's just been an awesome time, just getting into the swing of things and getting back to really doing this like I want to. There's a lot of things that I've been trying to get a hold of as far as making the best quality possible when it comes to making this podcast and other content, because I just recently got some sound pads. I don't know if it sounds any different yet. I haven't checked my audio. I know the audio is up and running, but I haven't been able to listen to the audio just yet. It do sound okay, but enough of me rambling. Welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VFBaller, and over here we talk about sports and sports gaming. Well, we don't talk about too much sports gaming anymore. All that's on my VFcast channel, which I recently just put a video up over there. Whenever you want, you can take the time to check that out, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, over here we're going to talk some football. We're going to get into all that good stuff, and definitely try to have some fun over here today. Definitely I want to talk about some teams that have been struggling. Definitely my Atlanta Falcons and Georgia Southern Eagles. We just have not been doing what we're supposed to do to actually be a good team. I mean, we fell short. We're 0-2 so far over here in Atlanta Falcons nation, and Georgia Southern over there Eagle Nation. We dropped the last two games, which the Arkansas game was kind of expected, but we thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive. But nevertheless, we are in a situation now that conference play is starting, and we want to be the best that we can be. So hopefully we'll be able to be quite successful. So real quick, I want to try to pull something up real quick. Is it up already? No, I don't see it. Nevertheless, I'll keep looking for it. Like I said, thank you guys for everybody who come through and everybody who has been supporting. I mean, we just well over 900 subs over here on the YouTube channel, and I noticed people have been listening to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Anchor. I think about the SoundCloud and Google Play. If you're over there listening to over there, something's going on with that. I've not been able to figure it out why it's not necessarily uploading over there, but I will definitely try to continue to get on top of that, because we really need that over there, and I've been having an issue with getting that together. So hopefully I'll get that up and running. I'm going to try to do another upload to get that together. So if you're not listening now, you definitely can listen at a later time when it comes to, okay, that's that right there. When it comes to actually, listening to the podcast on your own time. So that's always a good thing. I'm trying to pull up the phone number to call if you want to call in. The number, if you want to call in, the number is 803-767-4242. Or you could click the link if you're listening to this on YouTube. You can click the link right there and jump into the little chat area, and we can have a one-on-one discussion about any of these teams. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and start. Which football teams that can bounce back? That is the story right now. Which teams that can bounce back from having a really slow start? Like right now, you have 7 teams in the NFL that's 0-2. You have a few teams that's in college that kind of underperformed. I'm not going to go too much into college, because bouncing back in college is fairly easy if you are a team that's supposed to win. The one team that comes to mind is maybe Florida State. I'm not really sure about them. Can they bounce back? I haven't gone too far in depth in what they have in store for them. So I don't know what they're going to be able to do, but I have to see what their schedule's like. But like for my Georgia Southern Eagles, I think they have they're in good position to bounce back against this team, Louisiana. They played them on Saturday. Louisiana's a fairly decent team, but when they're coming into Paulson and playing at Statesboro, I think we have a really good chance of winning that game. There's already rumblings that J.D. King should be coming back. So if J.D. King is coming back, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be great. That's going to be a booster for the team. And hopefully we'll get that up and running. And if he's going to be there, it's just going to be a phenomenal time. That's just what it is. It's going to be great if he's going to be able to go and play. So I want that to happen. Hopefully that will happen. And we'll see how that goes. Because that's just another dynamic that we'll be able to run. And hopefully we'll get that going. As far as defensively, I want to see our secondary do a good job as far as actually covering some players. Georgia Southern, their secondary is just not up where it needs to be. I don't know why, but their secondary just has not been where it needs to be, and it's really disappointing. If they can get that together, and I think and actually get some hats on a hat, especially in the secondary, if they can stick with the receivers, that's going to help the front seven tremendously. And now our front seven is already on point. And I said I wanted to talk about a particular player, which I may just go ahead and do a whole video about him, but I'm going to just go ahead and talk about him real quick. Kevon Glenn, he's going to be playing since Trent Watson went down with the torn ACL. I think Kevon Glenn could be that guy that can lead the linebackers and possibly that front seven to another level, which they're already doing great. But I think that he'll be in a really good position to take this team to another level. I cannot wait to see what he actually does with him getting more and more reps and leading the linebackers up there, because you still have Randy Wade, which is the senior guy. You got Ben Hosaway, which do a great job as well. But I think Kevon Glenn could be that breakout player that's actually going to do some things. I think even in the Arkansas game, I think he had a handful of tackles. I think he was almost in the double-digit realm. Let me look that up. I'm gonna find out and see what we're looking at here. Let's see. Apologize, I didn't have this pulled up just yet. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can pull up some stats. I want to see what he actually did. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Defensively, Kevon Glenn came in and had 2 tackles, 2 assisted. Randy Wade had 4. So for the most part, him and Randy Wade pretty much led the team in tackles and assisted tackles. So we're looking at a situation where it could be either Randy Wade or Kevon Glenn. I just feel personally, I think Kevon Glenn could be that guy that's actually going to step up and take charge of what they can do. I mean, we have a lot of guys up in the front seven that can do well. Offensively, I'm looking at us possibly just trying to lean with the running game once again. If we can lean on that running game once again, we should be fine. I'm looking forward to us trying to start with the run to set up the pass. I don't think we're just going to be run, because we do have stuff in our arsenal to pass the ball. And I want to see more of that. Hopefully that, with Justin Tomlin under center or in the gun, we will see them try to stretch the ball out a little bit, because Caleb Hood, I mean, he got separation against Arkansas. And I think, not just with Caleb Hood, I think we can get some separation with our other receivers, trying to get them out of there. The Dexter Carter, the J.J. McCaffrey. I still really want to see Derwin Burgess get some touches as well. Amari Jones out the backfield. We got guys who can do something. Hopefully we'll be able to establish something. What I want to do later on this week, possibly, definitely Friday, I'm going to be doing a pregame show where I'm actually going to look at both sides, not only with Georgia Southern, I want to see what Louisiana brings to the table, because Louisiana used to be a team that relied a lot on their running game, and a couple of guys gone. I think Regis is gone. They still, since Regis is gone, I haven't heard much of their running game. So, but I know they pass a little bit more. I know they got a handful of passing yards now, where they're actually have more passing yards than running. So, I want to see what they do. I'm going to examine what their team's about. But right now, as far as us, like I said, with a football team that can bounce back, I really believe that, Georgia Southern has a really good chance to bounce back. I talked about this the other day, that we have 6 games that's going. Our next 4 of 6 is in conference. Not only that, 4 of them are at home. That we got 6 games, 4 of them at home, so we have a chance to actually do something as far as getting some wins and possibly turn into a 1-2. We could probably turn that around into possibly, at least 6 or 7-2. Easily. That's the faith I have in this team. I think they can do it, but it all starts with what happened on Saturday. So hopefully we'll get that done. I'll get into more of that on Friday. That's just my little sneak peek of what I think they can do when they bounce back. But once I analyze both teams and get some insight on what Louisiana does, I will come back and talk about more about that. When it comes to these 0-2 teams in the NFL, before I get into these Atlanta Falcons, I want to talk about the other teams that are 0-2. You got the Minnesota Vikings, the New York Giants, the Indianapolis Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Detroit Lions, and the New York Jets. Which of these teams that can bounce back? The best team I feel like that has the best chance to bounce back is the Colts. I think the Colts have the best chance to bounce back. They still have a very talented team, and I feel that with their schedule, they should be able to do something. They should be able to do something with their scheduling to actually dig themselves out of an 0-2 hole. I know they play against the Titans next. I still think they have the talent to beat the Titans, because the Titans did beat a really tough. They beat a really tough Seahawks team, but I do think they can beat the Titans. But even then, even if they go down to 0-3. You start looking at, they play against the Dolphins, then the Ravens, then the Texans, and the 49ers. So that's basically their next 5 games. They possibly can get the one game above 500 if they can do everything like they're supposed to do. I think they have a chance against the Titans. The Ravens, maybe not. The Ravens look like they're on fire right now, and I know they're elated after beating the Chiefs, and you got to go into Baltimore for that game. The Colts have a shot, but that might be the game that they lose. But as far as I'm playing the Dolphins, Texans, and the 49ers, I believe they have a chance to beat all 3 of those teams. So you're probably looking at a situation they may be 1 game under 500, but I don't know. They have a good chance to bounce back. I think they have the best chance based on, the teams that I just called. When you look at the other teams, Minnesota, possibly another one. Let's look at what Minnesota has to bring to the table, what they're going to be doing when they play against their next 4 or 5 games. Let me look. I need to pull up their information. Where are the Vikings? Where are the Vikings? Sorry. Oh, there they go. They lost 1 game. They lost 1-point game to the Cardinals. Oh, that gotta suck. That has to suck. But after that, they play the Seahawks, which, that's a winnable game for them, honestly. I think they can win that game. They play the Browns, Lions, Panthers, and Cowboys. The next 5 games for them, I like the Browns, but I just don't have any faith in the Browns, to be honest with you. I think the Browns, they're a good team, but I think the Vikings could beat them in Minnesota. Same thing with the Lions. I think they could beat the Lions as well. And they have the Cowboys at home as well. So 3 out of the next 5 games are at home. So you're probably they have to play the Panthers, and they have to play. Let me back that up. No, 4 out of their 5 games are at home. So they have a really good chance of possibly bouncing back easily, and you're probably going to be looking at them at a 4-3 team as well. And I would not be surprised they can possibly sneak one from the from the Panthers. So if they can go undefeated straight through, you're looking at a 5-2 team. Now you're looking at a totally different situation. The New York Giants have to play the Falcons. I'm biased a little bit when I look at this. I believe that the Falcons could beat beat the Giants. So with that being said, that kind of negates on what I really want to talk about with the Giants. But let's look at the rest of the teams that they have to play against. So let's see what else they can, what else they're up against. Let's find the Giants information. Here we go. They lost a 1-point game against the Redskins. Man, it's 1-point games. That'll be tough. All right, so we're looking at the Giants. The next game, like I said, they play the Falcons, which I believe that the Falcons could win that game. Then they play the Saints. I think they could beat the Saints as well. The Saints are somewhat of a mess. Then they play the Cowboys. They always play them tough. The Rams versus Giants, even though the Rams are coming to the Meadowlands to play, I feel that the Rams are going to beat the Giants. I feel that. And the fifth game, they have the Panthers going to the Meadowlands as well. So this is an uphill battle for them because the only game I see them possibly winning is probably the Saints. And even though they play the Saints, they have to play the Saints in the Superdome. So I'm not really sure how that's going to play out as far as them winning that game. Goodness, for the Giants, it looked like they can still be an offer by the time, November comes. Yeah, sheesh. Yeah, they got a rough schedule. They got a pretty rough schedule. The next team I want to talk about, let's see, the Indianapolis Colts. I already talked about them. I think I talked about them already. Yeah. Let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're the other 0-2 team that's going to be interesting to talk about. Jaguars, they're 0-2. They just lost to the Broncos 13-3. For the most part, a lot of people are giving Trevor Lawrence a hard time, which I get it. You kind of had a lot of high praise, but I think he'll be fine. I mean, 14-33 for 118. I mean, that's just abysmal. You can't win like that. You know what I mean? You just can't win like that. So, with that being said, the next 5 for them, the Cardinals come into Jacksonville to play the Cardinals. That's going to be a tough one for them. Then they play the Bengals. With me, I feel that's a toss-up. Then they play the Titans. I think the Titans will probably beat them. Dolphins, Jaguars, I think the Jaguars could beat them, and the Jaguars go to Seattle to play the Seahawks. So with them being 0-2, 0-3, 1-3, 1-4, 2-4. Yeah, we're probably looking at a situation the Jaguars could possibly be 2-5 by the time this is over with. Because now you're looking at the Jaguars to where they're going to end up probably losing to the Cardinals. Kyler Murray and company are playing really good ball. You also have the Bengals, which I feel that's a toss-up. They probably will win that game, but they're going to Cincinnati. I don't know. To me, that's a toss-up. So I'm just going to give Bengals the edge because they're at home. They're not going to beat the Titans. I don't see them beating the Titans. They could beat the Dolphins. So right there, that may be the only win they get. So you're looking at a 2-4. 1-5 situation. No, I don't think they're going to beat the Jaguars. I don't think they're going to beat Seattle in Seattle. I just don't see that at all. So, look like the Jaguars look like they're going to be suffering for a second. So, we'll have to see how that plays out. The other team, which one is 0-2? The Detroit Lions. Let's go look at the Detroit Lions and see what they're talking about. I went too far. My son is here. Hey, how you doing, my son? Hey, you wanna watch some TV on my phone, or wanna watch some? Let me get my son straight. Sorry for the. No. Here you go. Don't close the door. No, don't close that door. Here you go, baby. Here you go. Hey, babe. All right, there you go. He's going to have fun listening and playing with that. And let's get back to this. So, did I say the Detroit Lions? So let's look at the Detroit Lions and see what they have in store. Oh, Detroit. Oh, Detroit, they lost to the Packers. And I knew they were going to lose to the Packers as soon as they went for it on 4th down and didn't make it. I knew that was going to be a problem. let's look at the Detroit Lions. Who do they have next? Detroit Lions going to play against the Ravens next. All right, that's going to be a loss. Ravens are going to beat them. Then they play the Bears, which I think they're going to probably lose to the Bears as well. Then they play the Vikings, which I feel like the Vikings are already going to beat them. Then they play the Bengals, which that may be a game that they can win. And then they have to go to LA and play against the Rams. Yeah, you're looking at probably like a 1-3. I mean 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, 1-5. You're looking at a 1-16. Probably by the time this is all said and done, it's gonna be 1-6. So I feel bad for the Lions right there. I don't see them going to be doing anything significant. Probably one game. As for my Atlanta Falcons, oh man, I'm severely biased in this. I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible because my Falcons, man, oh man, if they can get that offensive line straight, I think they'll be okay. But the offensive line is the reason why our team is not moving the ball at all. It's really abysmal when you really look at it. Matt Ryan did manage to throw for 300 yards, a couple of tip passes that ended up being interceptions. But like I said, the Falcons go play the Giants. So I believe that they will beat the Giants. I do believe that. Then they come home and the Falcons play the Redskins. Well, the Washington football team. And I think they can win that game too. Then they turn back around and play the Jets at home as well. And then they turn around and play the Dolphins. And then they play the Panthers. The Panthers at home. So I believe that the Falcons have an excellent chance to win these games. They have an excellent chance of winning these games. So you're looking at 0-2. Let's see, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3. Yeah, they can win the next 4 out of 5. So now you're looking at a situation where they're 4-3, which is pretty good. It's pretty good when they're actually going to be at that point. So now the sky's the limit. I'm going to be covering them. I'm going to be talking about them and see how that plays out. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll go from there. I don't want to dwell on them too much longer. They've talked about them enough. And the last team that's 0-2 is the New York Jets. All right, let's talk about these Jets and a slow start for the Jets as well, and we'll see how that plays out. Arthur Smith might not make it. I'll be highly surprised if he's fired the first season. I don't see that. Second season, yes. First season, no. I don't see him being fired the first season. But with the next 6 games, I think they have next 5 games, they have a really good chance to just win the next game. Come here, bring it here, I'll give it to you. And if they come back and win the next 5 games, you're looking at a totally different situation now. You're looking at a totally different situation about his job if they end up going 5-2 or 4-3. And his job won't be in jeopardy at that point. But shout out to 5 Wars Deep. Look, good to see you here, bro. Just trying to establish this podcast on a Wednesday. I don't usually do Wednesdays, but let's go ahead and look at the Jets. The Jets play the Broncos next, and the Broncos look okay. I think they'll be able to beat them. And then you have the Titans. They're going to be playing the Titans next, which I think they're going to probably lose that game as well. Then you looking at them playing the Falcons, like I said. Then they have to play the Patriots, which actually that Patriots game is more of a winnable game than it looks on paper. So they probably could win that one. And then the Bengals come into town and play the Jets after that. So now you're looking at a situation where they're probably going to be winning maybe 2 games out of that. So now you're looking at a 4-4 team maybe. 4-6. I don't know. It's just going to be a really interesting situation to see how that plays out. So basically, those are the 4-2 team or the 0-2 teams that actually could bounce back. Right now, the only team I see that could possibly do it is the Vikings, maybe the Colts, and the Falcons. Those are only 3. I mean, so that's what I'm looking at now, and I'm not really sure how. I really don't know how the Falcons are going to be able to do it. And come here, baby. Come here. Give me the phone. Bring it here and sit right here. 'Cause I don't want you to climb on that. Be careful. And I just don't know how that's going to play out. So we'll see how it goes. Outside of that, I don't know who else is going to be, what teams could bounce. I'm looking at college. Like I said, I looked at college earlier, and I don't know. Like, the only team I really see that could make a change is really Florida State needs to do something, because Florida State is not looking good. They're just not looking good. And it just sucks to see how they play, what's going on over there. And also, I'm a big bias with my Georgia Southern Eagles. They go into conference play. We'll see how that plays out, and we'll go from there. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to talk about the Falcons real quick, and then that's pretty much going to be it for this show. If you want to listen to this, you can catch this on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify and Anchor. But yes, the FSU is trash. But if you want to listen to this outside of me being live, those are the places to go. You can check them out there, and you can listen whenever you want to. I don't know what's going to be going on with Florida State, to be honest with you. I really don't know. Florida State just look like they're in a situation where that entire program is just going to be in the dumps for a long time. I just don't know. And hopefully they'll be able to bounce back, because it's a very prestigious college. And when you're looking at everything that's there, it just seems like they just cannot find their way. What's that, baby? You want to put the stick on me? Okay. Thank you. My son, I love my son. He's the best. But yeah. Daddy? Yep, that daddy's right there. Yep. Mommy. No, mommy's downstairs. So, I'm just looking at a situation where Florida State just had to do something, man, because it's terrible that organization just not doing anything. It's crazy. No, right now, when I finish, I'll get up. Normally, I do these podcasts around 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. I do this show, and unless somebody calls in or whatever the case may be. And I just don't know. It's just with the way the situation is right now with the show. It's still in the birth of being on Wednesday, so don't get too many people over here. So I just don't know. But I'm going to continue to do the show and do what I do. And like I said, with the Falcons, the main thing with the Falcons, and matter of fact, I'll talk about the Falcons and I'll close out with Georgia Southern. With the Falcons, what they need to do, they just need to protect the quarterback. Their offensive line is just terrible. Everybody else can do their job. There's already rumblings that Russell Gage may be out for a while. And if he's out for a while, then Tajay Sharp just needs to step up. I think he'll be able to step up, and he should be successful. I like Tajay Sharp a lot. As far as the defense don't really need to change. The defense just need to continue to do what they do. I think they'll be fine at the end of the day, because they actually showed some promise when they started getting pressure on Brady, and they basically, in some cases, just got, the Falcons back in the game. They did a pretty good job of getting them back in the game. So I think the defense will be fine. The offense needs to move the ball more. If Jalen Mayfield and company can actually start defending, I think they'll be fine. They just need to start not defending, but blocking, they'll be fine. So not much to talk about there. I'll talk about them once I do the pregame of that next week. Not next week, but later on this week. So, but the Georgia Southern Eagles, I'm going to look at their schedule. I know they have Louisiana next. And what am I talking about? I got their schedule right here. They got Louisiana and Arkansas State, and they got to go to Troy. Bob Warsdeek is a Georgia State fan. He's an alumni as well. It's kind of like I am with an alumni of the. They're alumni of the. Here you go, baby. I'm an alumni of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Well, you don't want to watch this? That's fine, and I'll put it right here. Okay. He's an alumni of. I'm an alumni of the Georgia Southern, so therefore, we do have a rivalry there. But for them to go 1-4, I'm not really sure if they'll go 1-4, because they play Louisiana, Arkansas State, and they play Troy. So I think they have a really good chance of beating, and they play South Alabama. All four of those teams are very beatable. So with that being said, and then they play at home. So I think they have a really good chance of turning around and end up being like 4-2 or 5-2. And I mean, I am biased, but I'm like, honestly, I don't think any of these next 4 games, these teams aren't as good as advertised. I think Florida Atlantic is better than any of these teams that they were just playing. And Arkansas is Arkansas. That's what it is. Arkansas is Arkansas. They're a pretty good SEC team, and they're playing very good football this year. And I think they're surprised a lot of people, especially after that Texas game. You just didn't see them coming. But I think they'll be fine. For the most part, what they need to do, their secondary just need to step up. Their secondary just been getting torched all over the place. So if they tighten that up, they'll be fine. Make sure he doesn't put that in his mouth. All right. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to be doing a pregame show. I'm going to be doing a pregame show of both teams later on this week. Like I said, I usually try to keep this around 30 and 45 minutes. And it look like I'm pretty much done with the show for the most part as far as all of the content that I wanted to talk about. I think both of our teams, well, my team, Georgia Southern and the Falcons, have a really good chance of making this a season. I don't think this is all is lost. Like I said, their next two games are in Statesboro against really lower tier opponents based on what they played earlier this year, so they should be fine. If you like what you see here, hit the like button, share this video, share the show, let people know what I'm doing over here. Hey, babe, here you go. Yeah. Share this video, let people know what I'm doing over here, and let people know what I'm doing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What I'm going to do, I'm going to probably just go ahead and close this out, and I will be back later on this week, and I'm going to do my next video. I'll be talking about the pregame since, I'll do another video regarding personnel. And then next week, that Friday, I'll do the pregame for the Georgia Southern game. And then that Saturday, I'll do the pregame for the Atlanta Falcons game. So that's basically much what we're doing. Five Wars say they got Auburn on Saturday. They're done for. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect your team to be as disappointing. I thought your team was going to be a lot better because I really like you guys' quarterback. I like your guys' quarterback a lot. I really do. I'm low key disappointed in your team. I actually thought they were going to. Y'all play Auburn, then y'all play App State, y'all play Louisiana Monroe, which I'm gonna be honest. I think the next two games y'all probably going to end up losing. I don't see y'all beating Auburn or App State, but I think y'all can beat Louisiana Monroe. And yeah, I think I'll beat Louisiana Monroe, and I think I'll play Texas State. I think I'll be fine. And you know what? Why you don't like your quarterback, man? He's actually pretty good. I like Quad Brown. Quad Brown is good. I like Quad Brown. But nevertheless, and I just caught on what you said as well. GSU start 1-4. I forgot you like to use the U in Georgia State. Which is rightfully so. I don't really like using the GSU in Georgia Southern. I like us being called GS. Because when we talk about Georgia Southern, GS Eagles. And the logo used to be GS. Ever since I've been, following Georgia Southern back in the 80s. Your backup quarterback is better than Quad Brown. You think so? I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. I like Quad Brown a lot. So that's pretty much going to be it for me. We're going to be talking about that rivalry later on this week. Well, later on this month when they play against each other on October 30th. I'm going to need you on the show, man. Me and you got to talk about this game, man, or something. Because I think that's going to be a pretty good one. I think it's going to be a good one. They play at Paulson. I may go down for that game. I said I was going to go to the Louisiana game. But I may change my mind on that. I did say I was going to go. I'm not really sure. But you never know. I might end up going. This show is going to be up on iTunes probably later on tomorrow or Friday. So if you guys want to subscribe over there on iTunes, Google Play, Anchor, Spotify, that's where it's going to be. I'm still working on trying to get this back on SoundCloud and, what's the other one? Google Play. So hopefully I'll get it up on there and you guys can listen to it. If not, over there. So I'm going to get up out of here. It's about that time around the 40-minute mark. going to get this outro music ready, and I'm going to start editing this podcast to be up on those channels, those podcast channels. So you guys take it easy. You guys be blessed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Good conversation, 5 Wars Deep. Hey, by the fact, check out his channel if you haven't already. Go check out his channel, 5 Wars Deep. Just put that in the search engine. His channel should pop right on up. He does some really good content over there. All right, y'all. I am out of here. No calls today. I'm not complaining. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.